All right.
Mama!
Yeah, I hear it. I hear it. We're getting it in me tonight.
Get into it!
But hey everyone,
Wait.
welcome to another Will the Witch RP Live Play TTRPG session. Uh, you know that what is Will the Witch RP? Well, it's a couple who love sharing stories so much that we quit our day jobs and created our own company to create high quality and exciting TTRPG experiences full time and share them with you. And tonight we're playing Starfinder. I will leave all of the details on that to our lovely Sekrain, but before we get to that, if you just want to say quick thank you, of course, to our awesome players. If you want to join up and play at our table, you're welcome to do so. You can ask for more information in our chat room or join us on Discord. We also have with us Sirenscape, who provides all of our background music and sound effects. It's a fantastic and affordable sound collection that you can find at sirenscape.com. We use Foundry for our maps, and of course, our lovely art is done by Ansorge Digital over on Instagram. But I believe that's all that I've got. Sirenscape should be in the room with you.
Yeah, it at least on us, it is.
But yeah, I'm gonna toss this over to Sekrain.
Hello and welcome. It's been a bit, but hey, welcome back to Homeward, the actual live play Starfinder game of this beautiful place. And well, let's just do a quick recap of what has transpired in the past sessions, in the past days in game, actually, too. Last time, the crew and the Dralark itself managed to restore power and activity to a small mining outpost where they have decided to settle for the next couple of days, like a week, 2 weeks almost, to mine resources and use those to repair more of the rest of the damage that the Dralark has sustained on the Forgetting. In the meantime, our I forgot what was the name, like our internal name that we're calling you guys.
Was it just the idiots?
I believe we were squad.
Dashing heroes.
I'm not sure you're heroes yet. I mean, sort of. You're making your way there, but
I thought we were just
Intrepid explorers.
intrepid, not sure. Explorers, yeah. Our main cast, our main cast. Some of them
If you remember.
had been working a bit on the part of technical situations of the ship, some research done, and some personal situations from Melodius trying to figure out more about himself and what was the situation going on with S. S tagging along with that for Melodius, along with finding out more about who they were, what kind of shady business they were working before in, and Amos realizing more and more from where they came from, having a moment of a very unpleasant memory happen in the middle of training and just making things stop, like handbrake the entire training, making people worry. But along all of that,
Better purpose later in the hallway, but okay.
I mean, the hallway's fine.
Oh, it was better.
There's nothing in the hallways. But along with that, Amos, you received a message to your quarters from Sebosh.
Oh, right!
Yeah, could you know that
I was supposed to meet them.
no, they invited you to get to the what seemed to be like a small meeting gathering of people that she had like figure out that they were also part of the Burden crew that are somehow in the Dralark, and they mentioned that they're gonna have like a kind of like a gathering at the next day and you were invited. There was no query on that part. Like, it was like you must come. It's just like, hey, if you want to. And that was you read that message when you got back to your quarters and you saw the message in the computer of your your personal computer.
Yeah. I am gonna go to that meeting. I would like to. Can I set my computer to scan the ship's database for information pertaining to the past missions of the ship? Like where we've docked to
Uh,
do like research or things like that. Uh, like
like
religious sites, things like that. Our past um
before the
away
forgetting, you
missions
mean?
before the forgetting.
Um, so
The sticky
for
notes are
this
helpful.
yeah, for this kind of information, I mean, you begin looking at that, and immediately you see that through this is more like a personal like communications thing, like not precisely like one that you can access that kind of information. uh, you know you know there's a particular AI just
Yeah,
zooming around the whole ship that could probably give that, but I'm
obviously.
gonna just give it away that information has not been recovered. Like there's some fragments of on this day, like on a Tuesday there was
On
a mission
Tuesday.
outside. Yeah,
So
but you
I'm
do not
gonna
know if that Tuesday was like a month ago
yeah.
or
So
years ago, yesterday. Like it's
the
just
context of when these missions happen doesn't exactly matter to me. It's just the fact that they happened and what happened on them. So I'm gonna can I talk to Addie and get her to run that search to see if she could just find the information, whether or not it has context behind it?
sure. You pass that
Task
query.
query task to Addie.
Yeah, and he excitedly says that he will do that immediately and dashes away. And that's like 5-10 minutes later, um, you receive the dumping of the files, and it's like,
I get info dumped. Great.
yeah, it sends you the files, and then it's like, oh, do you want me to send this to a particular computer or something? Because in this particular, like, the platform you have, like the screen on the
There's
wall is not
my data pad's fine. Yeah,
okay.
I'm sorry, my data pad's fine. Sorry, I had to get back to Mac there for a second. I apologize.
This is okay. Yep, they send you that, and you have a
A wealth of new information that I have to read.
it is information that even looking at it, it's like there was an away mission, no further information. There's some that are like, here's some extra details, there's information missing, and there's some files that is like these files haven't been fully recovered, so it's like a jumble of letters and missing parts. So it's like, well, this is a file, and so yeah, you have that. It'll take you a while to just peruse to them.
Okay. Say all of that again. My brain didn't capture any of it. Like, I heard the words, and my brain did not register it.
Okay, what part do you left consciousness?
Addie put the information on my data pad, and that's when I just 404'd.
Okay, it put the information in datapad, and just looking, like jumping into loose files, not even having an order of where you're clicking. Some it's like there was an away mission, no further information. Some of it is like a date, but no, like very loose tracks of things. Some are missing pieces of information of text and intel inside, so it's very incomplete. And there's some files that are just a jumble of words that have not been recovered, and some when you try to open them, it's like error, just corrupted file.
Like Sky at this point.
Yeah, I mean, there's no crash to desktop, but
obviously, Mac is gonna go through these and try to decipher as much as he can right now, and then he's gonna probably send a message to Ez to work on recovering as much as he can.
What are you looking for in these files?
I am looking for just the data that Null asked me to get, which is the past mission data on structure. What was it? Structures and sites with perhaps religious or something.
Religious. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and the away missions that the ship had before the Forgetting.
Okay. Do me a computer check. As you're gonna
Where's down,
be.
right? Where did I put it on this thing? Alright, here we are.
Meow.
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 Meow. Meow. Meow. 32.
32. Fuck. Jesus, you guys.
Oh, that's almost max.
Yeah.
That's like really
as
close to max for me. So that's a really good check.
as you are working on that, it is tedious work, and some of this is like you're going through, even using some of like search functionalities inside the files, and doing some of that computer stuff. You are managing to take some of those files out, not have to like immediately the ones that are corrupted move out, the ones that just are a jumble of words out, and then you manage to trim it down more and more, and at least from the ones you've seen, there's been like a dozen more or less, a dozen and a half ish missions that mention something religious or unknown sites. But when you try to read most of them, information is not clear enough. There is one in particular that has a bit more of extra information, and in a generalized way, what you see, it mentions that a site outside of near space
A site
related.
outside of near space?
Yeah, that there was they found
Okay.
a possible site with structures outside near space. You don't see a date of this, and it seems that this file probably had extra information. It is not fully recovered, and just among the rest of the jumble of words and data you're able to recover, it looks like there could be extra files attached to this that, because of the loss of memory,
Yeah.
they're in a way to
So-
say it, the links to those files are lost, so you're not sure.
I'm not sure where they are, and probably the person who can do this better is going to be S. But what I am going to do is I'm going to, I'm going to, on my way to my meeting with Zebosh and whoever else is going to be joining us at that meeting, I'm going to send all of these files to Nelodius, but I'm going to flag the site that's outside near space with a note that says, "This is the weird one that I found." But I'm also going to CC S on it,
Okay. Real.
and it's just the note that Mac leaves is, "This is the weird one I found. Can't decipher everything on it. Some of the links are missing."
Okay. You send that, and the meeting isn't at the next day, so you still had like
Oh,
the
I'm still-
night you could rest. Yeah.
So I think that's all that I needed to do is look up that past mission data, because S didn't want me to look up anything. So I've done my thing. So
Okay.
Mac will go do what Mac does, which is probably smoke, drink, and sleep.
Okay.
Maybe not in that order.
Okay, got it. You go on. Roll me a d20, please.
Oh god, I just hit the volume button on my headphones and everything is still loud now.
Roll me a d20 and tell me even or odd.
Let's go with the evens. And how do I make
Evens.
it roll a d20?
It's backslash. Is it backslash? Yeah, backslash.
Splash. So
Roll 1d20. Okay.
evens.
Even you still have some alcohol that you managed to grab from around the ship.
I
somewhere
definitely
that no
stole
one
that from
wasn't-
somewhere, but who cares?
Probably. Yeah, you still have it, and the cigarettes you see that they're
I'm
slowly running out of those, but you still had
need to
some.
find a place to find and buy cigarettes.
But yeah, you get your sleep, and for the other two, as they continue, one of you were working on the research of the Arcane and Science Division, and the other one was working on, if I recall correctly, they were checking on their own devices and then going to Addie's room, right?
I've been.
Oh, weren't you sleeping?
Yeah, we were. Last I remember, I was heading to Noel's room.
You eat the sleep jeans.
Yeah, because this came up again. Um,
Not
The sleep jeans came up.
Oh, they make me mad every time I remember them.
Look, S has been bringing over more comfortable sleepwear. He just doesn't have like actual pajamas.
It's just jeggings.
It's just gray jeans, or not gray jeans, gray sweats. Sorry, the sleep jeans got me again.
It's not gray sleep jeans.
No,
That doesn't make it better.
it's gray
Sleep
sweats.
jeans, chat.
I mean, not
You
gonna say
just
more.
read sleep jeans, chat.
Either way,
But yeah, no,
Uh,
S has been doing their own thing, and which was mainly checking in to files, and I had done a walk around for the different little cache areas and just kind of putting my eyes on them, and then after that I was going to head to Noel's room because of an arrangement that Noel and S have started.
yeah. You just gonna go to cache areas like data
Uh,
areas or what?
No, so
Or-
the different drop points that I had found last time.
Yes. Cache. That. Okay. Got it. Okay.
Because
So,
I remember
Cache.
that, yeah,
Cool.
the cache. It's
Cache.
very French. Because I remember that I have them, like, I've got them in my notes, and I remember that I was like, I just want to put eyes on them. I don't want to actually interact with them right now. Just
Yeah.
that way I know where they're at.
Okay. Yeah, you go around, and for some of those, you wait until some people pass along and it is empty, and they are like in hidden panels and sections of that maybe only engineering can access, but not like you don't remove a panel and they're right there. They are a bit on a side, a corner, a bit more hidden. But now you know it. Now having the data you have, you can like at least get your eyes on some of those. And finding like some are like small boxes, some are either like rounds or magazines for like looks like a weapon hidden in places. You find a semi-automatic pistol that looks kind of similar to the ones you've seen security forces wear, so you assume you probably took that and hid it away. But yeah, the couple you have seen seem like that way, like just things to just grab and run, if need be. Some like one of those does have some credit sticks that like sticks that you storage their credits, money. But yeah, you do that, and then you grab your gray sweatpants and fashionably make your way toward the officers' quarters. Some people, like, as you go around, there's, I mean, there's not particular a look of like disdain or anything. There's no one giving you a weird look. You have just going around in the quarters. You have seen seen people just going around outside, someone like walking out on pajama, and it's like living in an apartment building. You hear various things. At least the hearing is not that loud. But
What do you mean, various things?
I think
Oh,
what's being
our-
said is that rumors spread quickly.
I mean, maybe, but also like it's you're not trying to hide away on your way there, right? Like you're just
Yeah,
walking.
no, I'm minding my own business here.
Yeah, people see you there and passing along. The ones that do recognize you because engineering or anything, they might like give a second look, like, oh yeah, that's us, and just make say hi or anything. And some of them you recognize them as engineering. Some of them is like, oh, I guess I say hi to that strange person that just said hi that I don't remember, and just move along.
S does not interact unless interacted with, and anyone who says like hi to him, they just get like a nod in return. He's very awkward.
Yeah. Half of the people understand it. Half of it's like, oh, and like that kind of like look some people give, like, oh, rude, but
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean,
How dare.
yeah, you make your way there, and as you get to the room, I assume by this hour, which I assume as would make its way later that night, Nuloid is already on his quarters room.
Yes.
Okay.
He's on his fantasy iPad.
Space fantasy iPad, thank you.
His space fantasy iPad.
Space fantasy.
We gotta
He's
be
relaxed.
specific.
He's got
Nondescript.
the robe, the slippers. He has his iPad. He has a drink in a cup.
Ez lets himself in and announces their presence, but doesn't like wait for Null to come open the door.
Are you hiding? Are you covering the hand?
No.
Okay.
Who knows about the hand?
Yeah, how much has S seen the hand? I'm pretty sure I showed everyone.
Yeah. You should. We had that whole thing about the hand and the coat and all that craziness.
Yeah,
S knows about the hand.
S knows about the hand.
Yeah.
S doesn't talk about the hand, but S knows about the hand.
We don't talk about the hand.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Ah, welcome back. Well, hello. Welcome. Come in. Have a seat. Can I get you a drink or a snack or anything? A book?
Now that's tempting.
I do have a great paperback collection.
I'll take whatever you recommend.
What does Null recommend? I think for this evening, and he stands up and shuffles over to his bookshelf and pulls down a rather nondescript looking, like, equivalent of a dime paperback, and it's like terrible short stories. It's terrible short stories all based on like one theme. So based on the one I just read, which was Dragon Fantastic, you're gonna get Worm Fantastic. It's a bunch of bad short stories written about the worm, the mythical beast.
Heck yeah.
You know, it's definitely a product of its time, but it's got some charming bits.
It is a compilation of short tales about the worm that comes from Triaxis. a planet that you would, just from reading a bit more, you would more or less know that it is indeed a planet where the metallic and chromatic dragons have had, for all of known history, perhaps, fought, and there's just individuals arriving there, not knowing and being like, "Oh, dragons!" And be like, "There be dragons!" And surprise indeed, there be a lot of dragons.
Quick,
But mhm.
quick question.
Eh.
Looking through this Triaxian worm book, would there be any Triaxian phrases? Because I recognize that language, even if I don't remember it.
Oh boy.
There's some parts, like there are some sections, like as you're reading it, and both of you know, like this book, of the caliber of this type of literature. Whenever there's the usage of draconic or triaction in it, it is done in the very like pretentious way. Like when someone uses a Latin word, but it's a Latin word that everyone knows, so it's not really that obscure or anything, or it's like the intention of. There's some things that are like, oh yeah, like yeah, I get it, where this is go or what it means. Um, there's some names here and there that resonate with some uh, nomenclatures that are more aligned to the triaction rather than common, which triaction is this mix of um, draconic and elements from the Rhyphorians, which are the natives from Triaxis too.
If I'm able to allow this to kind of spark my memory,
Mhm.
I'd like to have S be a little bit of a show off with his knowledge by pointing out the different specifics of the Traxian language where perhaps a better word could have been utilized.
Yeah,
That is pretentious.
Oh yeah.
there is also points that you're like, this is probably either a bad work of translation or someone that did not care enough to really do justice to this maybe small tales. Like there's that possible mixing in your idea as you're looking at it, and that's what sparks that pretentious act.
Well, how many languages do you speak? It keeps coming up in various things that we're doing that you just know a million languages. What's that about?
I think that might be due to my programming and the type of android that I am.
You can tell that Null wants to ask a question, but backs away from it. Like, he very obviously... Fair enough. Do you think maybe there are languages that you know that you haven't remembered yet?
Probably. I'm
Fascinating.
fairly certain that they'll show up.
That must be very jarring when it happens.
It can be. It most often sort of just opens up another circuit, another way for information to flow.
I definitely know what that feels like.
This is about the time where they get my email that I CC'd S on.
Yeah, I would say so.
There's
Just to make
like,
things more awkward.
yeah, like there's a moment where S is about to say something, and then there's the two notification sounds.
Ah,
Okay. Mac in his impeccable timing.
I had asked Mac to look into potential away trips that the Drellark may have logged as still being in the system history places we had gone before. I had this vague memory that I was arguing with the captain, someone we don't know who that is now, but clearly I did then, because I'm in pictures with him. I was having an argument with him about this away mission I wanted to do that he didn't want me to do for whatever reason. And I was just trying to figure out if I did end up getting my way and going on that away mission, because I don't remember. But I don't have to look through those files right now. Yeah, actually, I had a fascinating set of things come up at work. I've been looking into the body of the
First mate.
I couldn't remember if it was first mate, co-pilot, first officer,
First officer, I think it was. I think it was
the first officer.
I think it was first officer. I can double
First
check
officer.
my-
Indeed,
Yeah,
correct.
correct.
Yeah, I was just waiting to see what comes
We're
with
gonna
the
run through
memory.
all of them.
It's
don't.
it's been a while.
Would have.
That was also just plague brain. I misspelled the word trip today. I was trying to write down trip blank on my COC, and I'm having a bad time.
I 404'd earlier.
So I've been looking into that and seeing if we can maybe narrow down what sort of magic happened there, and obviously there's some necromancy dug in with all of that, which is also, relevant to my whole situation I've got going on here, and also my whole deal trying to narrow down where that necromantic origin is. So there might have been something about that in the original star explosion that sort of put us in this situation. So that's been my whole thing. It's sort of strange digging into necromancy because it feels like the least natural of the magics. It's like reversing all of the other shit I do as a botanist, as like a life scientist. Something about it just feels icky, Maybe that's a me thing.
Hey, Sakurane, can I ask a question?
You can always ask me a question.
Does all of this talk of necromancy spark a memory?
It is vague that there's not a connection yet. It's like there's parts where yeah, I mean, the thing that comes more to your mind right now has been the most recent and more clear memories of the zombies, the star, what's happened to Melodius, but a part of that, it is sort of vague.
Okay, I'll take that.
I was waiting, like I was just seeing what Ray was saying. It was like just seeing if I ping anything, but
Yeah, I know.
What I'm trying to remember is if Null learned that these things have an origin on Eox. I didn't write it down, if that's true. I feel like it's true, but I don't know if I'm mixing up my knowledge with Null's.
So I remember, and yeah, you asked me to look if there was any necromancy projects going on, and among some like weird situations and some that perhaps for defense and stuff like that, there was one that you read that definitely caught your eye from remembering your expression and everything about that, and just to mention, because it was like, oh, that's weird, that they were mentioning for helping the medical staff. One of the people inside the ship, it did not explain if it was crewmate, passenger, had what seemed to be a necrocraft. Necrocraft. Basically a physical augmentation in the body created through necromancy.
Gotcha. Okay.
That was the thing. And I don't remember if you did that role to check if where that would be, but definitely was something that's like, oh, I know, like, okay, like in a way it's hints at your sparks a bit that the idea of, oh, you can create things that help people that are not, not only just age. Not only I bring back the dead, but it's like I can create something that a lot people alive can use to just be alive,
Based
survive.
on my phrasing that I used, I would think that the name Eox came up because I specifically referenced it in the message that I sent you, right? 'Cause it would-
Right. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if we got like the full like connection, but I do like because of that phrasing, I would be thinking that the name Eox did come up.
Okay. Yeah. So, if S allows Null to continue word vomiting, he's going to.
Oh, S has said before he loves listening to Null speak. Like,
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Roll me no diplomacy, culture check, both of you.
Oh, you want to see if I'm cultured? I don't know how to roll my dice. Oh god. Okay.
Okay.
I forget every time. Sorry. There I am.
It's okay. It's got a 25.
Culture.
god damn.
Nice.
Aha! Ha! I know everything.
Right. So as you're walking and just talking about the impressive idea, an interesting idea of continuing life through necromancy, and the idea of crafting organs out of necromancies, it comes both to you, more to you, Nulodius, that indeed necrographs in the history of the Pack Worlds, are something that come and were invented in Eox. And it is, eventually they were expanded a bit more in just not just for Eoxians and the high society of it, but they also can be found outside of Eox, but in black market stuff. It is still sort of taboo, but they won't detain you. It's like you're not gonna be detained on customs for having a necrocraft. It's just, again, if you want a real quality one, it's in Eox. That's where you're gonna get it, and at a reasonable price.
Gotcha. So it's fascinating. This research, it was all very cursory in the read that I did, but apparently there's someone on board who has what is essentially a necromantic prosthetic, or like an organ transplant that is from a different being or their own self that has been revitalized with necromancy. I just thought that was very cool. And that's sort of what I assume similar magic has gone into revivifying myself, which, if you think about it, is a little bit unfair because my leg still hurts, despite being a newly necromantic creation. But that's fascinating things coming out of Eox, apparently, that we were looking into that prior to the forgetting.
With the name drop of Eox, does anything come secret?
Come on, Sekrin! Hey, come on!
It's been
Hey.
41
Give me the light.
episodes, Sekrin,
Give me
please!
the lights!
I mean, what? Tell me, what are you trying to fish out of EX? Because EX, there's a lot of stuff about EX, but
That I come from Eox.
roll me intelligence, like roll the memory check, roll intelligence, as just the talk of the creation, crafting. There's an itch.
Please. Please, dice gods.
Well, okay. Um, as there's mention of this, you're listening and paying attention to like you're not zoning out of it. Um, and the name Eox comes again. There's flashes, and these flashes of images are not your book or vid images of Eox. These are clear orbit looking down at it. For moments, there's images of how it looks down on the planet. A barren, god forsaken planet. There's no plants. Probably a little bit of oxygen left from whatever more or less you remember from what the history of this planet. But there's massive cities, domes that provide oxygen to those that still need it, but even outside into those onto the harsh environment, there's people walking around. Well, we say people, but their exposed bones, their decayed flesh, just stuck in that instant of the moment that life has gone away, just going out like nothing, walking out into space as they don't need to breathe. They're not affected by the lack of atmosphere. And looking at that, there's one or two small flashes, not even more blurrier than that, of the structures, the elegant and more sophisticated part of it seem to be is still with the motif of death everywhere, but more in a way that it doesn't seem that you were walking in that memory in just the normal streets, but you were somewhere else, somewhere a bit higher. But apart of that, it is like you're not sure why you have those memories, like why it seemed of that presence. And in all the other memories that you had, this feels like there's this part of your memories that is like the blur from the forgetting it, that you are now accustomed to, used to. But this one feels even like double layer even. And it just
Like the explosion.
possibly it is even harder to decipher this. Like some of those memories are like a bit clearer, some of those are like weird. The little glimpses of something more elaborate are the ones that are even less clear. Like could be just a movie that you saw about the Ox. Could be a physical thing you saw. Could be like from a camera. It's the angle even that you're seeing that image doesn't make fully a sense.
I think Noel would see the moments that Ace kind of zones out, their eyes going a little dull, as their brow furrows.
What are you thinking about?
Sorry,
No, no.
I think I might have been interested in the Ox one. I seem to have memories of it. Can't quite tell if I was there or they'd seen something about it.
I hadn't really learned a whole lot about it. It sounds rather unpleasant. What do you Sorry.
You're good.
Shouldn't be laughing, but just the timing of what are you? Sorry.
Oh, you are.
Sorry.
You're quite
Okay.
right. It is.
It's just Noel just starts hack coughing at us.
It is unpleasant. Most of the world is war torn. They're inhospitable. The areas that are contained. And death is incorporated into everything there.
I'm gonna say, with your culture role, Melodious, you you're thinking about it, and in your mind, the way you think is like, ah, of course it would be that way. The planet was, like the people in Yox destroyed. Like they just bombed the shit out of that planet,
Their own
and
planet?
yeah,
Huh.
and it is now the way it is. But look at such a fascinating culture that came out of that. Like kind of, oh,
Who would do a silly thing like that? Bomb their
I
own
mean,
planet?
you, you think maybe because of war, you don't remember the exact reasons, but it's like, oh, of
who
course.
would who would drop a nuke on their own planet that they also have to live on? What a silly thing to do.
Right.
It would seem as though necromancy adapting to the culture is almost just a necessary adaptation, like how fish that live in caves over generations no longer have the need to see because there's no light. Possibly a little less intense than that, but if your whole society and culture is built around death, it would seem logical next step to have necromancy play a role in that. Do you suppose that has anything to do with the kaboom?
Potentially. If we think about that necromancy came before warfare, why would they have any fear to hold back?
That's a great point. Although, there are downsides to living in a dead body. It's not 100%, I don't totally remember what it was like before, but it's not the same exactly. I would still have reservations about bombing my own planet if I knew that this was the backup option. But that's just me. From what I recall, I come from a planet that is tropical and verdant and covered in forests, and sounds like the exact opposite of Eox. I would like to go back there sometime, but last time I saw it, it was in a very scary dream, so I'm not in any hurry.
As nods and dreams. Maybe. And he gets that far off look in his face again. Kind of centers himself again. You, earlier, you had a question. You don't need to ask. You can. I don't mind answering questions for you.
I was curious why knowing a variety of languages would be useful for someone who ostensibly sounds like you did body disposal, and I just don't necessarily equate those two things. I was hoping you could elaborate on that, but I understand that it's probably not something you're super jazzed about talking about. So I didn't know if it was my place, or if there was something more to what you used to do that perhaps required a little bit more finesse and less bleach.
How they describe ripping off the band-aid as bleach.
What?
Love that.
I used to do a lot of things. disposal of bodies is definitely one of the more gruesome tasks. Other times I made people disappear off the digital aspect. And sometimes I had to find things. Knowing different languages, I think, helped me in either wherever I happened to be at the time, or striking good deals, making sure I got paid, making sure whoever I was working with got paid.
Oh, well, and here I was thinking you were just some sort of lunkhead grunt hauling away the bodies, but it sounds much more interesting. And he tries to say that playfully and does like a little shoulder tap and then realizes that sounded really mean.
That sounds like you're talking to Mac.
I'm just a person who knows how to make problems disappear. Nothing terribly
Ominous.
special.
I don't recall if you... And, like, tell me to shut up if this is not something, not really the vibe, but, I don't recall if you told me, did you work for a crime syndicate, or a government, or sort of like a private enterprise?
Saccharine,
Yeah.
may I roll a memory check to see if I remember if I worked either like a contractor or if I was tied to anyone specifically?
Yeah.
You know, you are actively trying to remember this, so I'm gonna say yes. You'll attempt to, as you're like thinking, focusing.
Better than trying to remember Eox.
15. Okay. You remember that one time, the encounter where they sent those two, not brutes, the two muscle guys to get rid of you, and you dealt with them quickly, and in the what seemed to be this abandoned building. That more or less is what you remember with dealing with any organization. The other part is that memory with that individual that received you and told you like there was a contract from a couple of people, but part of that seemed to be that you were sort of free in a way. You're not sure if you had any like contact with anyone in particular, but
Freelance criminal, got it.
it seems to be, but you're not 100% sure.
Right. Well, with that information, we'll see how Ash is going to share that with Null after our upcoming ad break, unfortunately. So we will be right back here, everyone, to continue along. But before we head out, I just ask that you let the ads run. They really help us out here at Little Witch RP. If you want to directly support us, you can do so through my Ko-fi, link that's on screen, and then also in our chat room. Donations unlock awesome perks for the entire community that benefit everyone who play with us. A full list is available on our Discord for that. But we will see you all very soon. What a way to come back. So, S kind of looks to Null in this moment.
We're
More.
very serious, aren't we?
I'm more of a freelance criminal, one might say. I had a partner. We did jobs. At one point, I worked with some sort of criminal entity. They sent guys after me, probably because they didn't want to pay my price, and I sent a message in return.
Evocative.
What was the message? A horse head?
Message was a bullet through the brain.
Shot to the heart,
And
and you're to blame.
But yeah,
to blame. Sorry.
I could have worked with other criminal entities. I could have worked for governments. But it was really my work, and people just knew what they were after and what I could provide.
And that entrepreneurial spirit. I'm sure you don't remember currently, but if you do, I would be interested to know how you got started in that. I'm always very curious. I'm always very curious when people find themselves in impossible situations and what impossible choice they make based on that. I don't know of many. I don't know of many people who would willingly choose a life of you know, hardships and blood and guts and sorry, I you know, there's something very cool and sexy and evocative about a life of organized crime, but also I know that it was probably way more unpleasant than that, and I just would be interested to hear what pushed you to that.
I want to point out there's something cool and sexy about organized crime. Mac, who's been upfront about being an organized crime, Noel's the
Not
least
you.
favorite person.
Not your sort of organized crime.
My
The
organized
sexy
crime
kind.
piracy sucks
Piracy
comparatively.
is the least sexy.
It's
least
like
sexy
loitering. It's
aspect
like
of-
the loitering crime.
It's like the
It's the least.
jaywalking of
It's
space.
the
really.
worst crime. It's the least sexy crime.
It's like double parking.
You're right. I really don't have specifics to give you. I don't remember everything, but going off of what I do remember, probably has something to do with survival. I remember doing anything that I could to make sure that I got out of certain situations. And everything that I've done here is perhaps my paranoia is part and parcel of survival.
I would buy that. That seems a reasonable assumption.
Excuse me.
I assume by this point they're no longer just standing.
Oh yeah.
Part of me, they've probably moved back to their chairs.
Yeah, I assume this whole thing also was like already on the chair. Like you have not, you're not doing this video game style, just like standing there, not moving at all. Just this whole
Part of
deep
me is-
conversation.
assuming video game style, standing there not moving.
Part of me was thinking like, oh well, Null had to stand up to go get the book, and then I never
Yeah.
said that he went to go sit back down. But that doesn't matter. Use your imagination.
I mean, he
I mean,
could
if
have been
they-
deposing this whole
As
time.
having a whole conversation standing video game style makes perfect sense to me.
I mean, they could have been standing and like slowly getting closer to each other.
Well, I was just going to say, if they are sitting
Yeah.
back in their chairs.
It's just that moment. Is it that moment? Where it's...
No, Nell just reaches over and like puts his hand on top of S's hand and just
it just,
no.
just from the bushes.
Look, they've only slept together. It's too early to kiss.
Obviously.
Whoa, whoa.
Look, calm
We don't
down,
have time to
chat.
get into
We mean
queer politics
actually
right
sleep.
now.
I can see them frothing.
But you were speaking.
Yeah, Null just reaches over and puts his hand on top of S's hand and gives it a little squeeze. You know, needs must. Most of the time, you end up what you have to do to make yourself safe, and I think there's nothing wrong with that inherently. Sorry, you didn't ask me to justify your life choices from a life that you don't remember right now. Thank you for telling me. I was curious.
He nods. Takes a long moment looking where their hands are touching. I don't mind your curiosity. I also don't mind Amos's half the time. The other half can be annoying.
Hence the gunshot.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Like I said, survival.
And with that, there's a moment of silence between both of you, and eventual slowly taking whatever activity you decide to read or anything else, kind of for a moment moving away from that, and the night passes, morning comes, and each one of you wakes up at the hour you more or less decide to. Some of you may have already more pressing official duties as part of the official crew. And Amos, you more or less wake up groggily, slightly drunk.
Probably more hungover now.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, that's the word.
2 hours.
That's the word. Slightly hungover.
My
Not probably
head's
you
a little
didn't.
fuzzy. I'll be fine.
You didn't got like super drunk last night, so enough to get the bus and go to bed.
Yeah,
Smoke,
probably without the
and-
nightmares. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an empty night, which probably is better. And
Yeah.
as you're there, you look at the time. There's some hours left. It's like around midday, the time of the meeting. So it's just like rolling around in the bed, just staying starfish, just standing, going to the kitchen, smoking.
Yeah, I
getting
start
some
counting
food.
the lights on the ceiling of my room. Like, oh god, what am I gonna do?
Eventually, you get up, dressed up with the same clothes you've been wearing. So it's just there's a part of like, well,
Yeah. Amos definitely has like a shopping list, and on that shopping list is new clothes because
there.
he does only own one pair of clothes.
Yeah, I'm
Don't
imagining
shake your head.
there's
He's been a prisoner. What makes you think he had more than one set of clothes?
actually I'm thinking you probably had a bit more, but it's just like you opened your closet and it's like the 2 or 3 things that look almost identical, and
Yeah,
whatever you wear, it's always with the jacket on top, and
it's
the jacket
always
is
with the
big
jacket on
enough.
top, and it just looks the same.
Yeah.
But on my way to the meeting, can I stop by the bridge and bring Vahivel some coffee?
I mean, you see the hour, and there's a part of you that thinks that would be a good idea. There's another part of you that thinks probably he already had coffee, because it is now like 10
Well,
a.m.
well,
and-
he wants coffee anyway.
Okay.
He won't
You-
say no to coffee. Plus, I can ask him if I can do anything for him.
You. From where are you getting the coffee? Actually, that's a good question.
A place on the way. Probably a cafe, or it's something that I pass along the way to the bridge.
You realize that there's a direct way to the bridge would not pass near a cafe. You would need to go to like the recreational and
Oh,
food
absolutely.
area.
I go out of
and-
my way. If there's not a direct way, I go out of my way to go get him coffee.
You go, you get it, go to the bridge, and it's a bit of a way. Along with that, you get to the recreational and living area, and it's a bit more upkept than the last time you've seen. You see that definitely with the resources, there's just groups of engineers moving left and right, just repairing the little things so they're more functional. And in that process, there's been some allocation to also repair some of the shops, and yeah, there is indeed some coffee shops around here and there, variations from how a Vesk would like a coffee compared to a human, compared to a dwarf, compared to a Isoki, like there's just
Yeah, remind me, what is Vahiva?
Bahibel is a Lashunta.
Alright. So
Also,
obviously,
you have no idea how he likes his coffee.
I have no idea how he likes his coffee, so I'm gonna get him black coffee so he can make it however he would like. And I'm gonna
Okay.
get Mac is gonna get his own shopping done, which is alcohol, cigarettes, and clothes, and that is the extent of his shopping list at the moment.
Okay.
Like
ro-
shirt, pants, cigarettes, alcohol. That's it.
roll me a d20. It's gonna be if you find alcohol, as it is becoming a rare commodity,
I am sure it is.
and cigarettes. Even or odd, by the way.
Let's go with odd this time.
Okay.
Let's hate myself just a little bit.
As you're going around buying that, seeing the time that is passing, seeing how much you have left, there's just like you feel you have enough time to go and buy all those stuff. So just buy basic ass clothing, like a
Oh,
white
yeah.
t-shirt.
Absolutely. It ain't
Yeah, white
fancy.
t-shirt.
It'll work.
Pants that seem to fit you. You didn't even check them, and just by looking around, you don't see where you could buy alcohol. And the place you bought the last time is like, no, we don't have any more. So you just like hurry up to the bridge. And when you get to the bridge, it takes you a bit of time. You enter into it, and you see someone you haven't seen in the past days and haven't heard much. You see Kasinkara there, along with Bahibel, and they're talking out loud. There's moments that you see that Kay looks toward Alduri, and just because you have worked with Kay and just being with Shirin, you pick up that they are saying something to Alduri, to which Alduri is like just answers back. So it's like hearing a phone call that you only hear the one side of a conversation, and there's kind of that, and they're just talking about the logistics, about work, like organizing the ship. And as you enter, you arrive, like both of them look at you. Bahibo just like does like the office nod kind of thing, just not like the sub, but just like back to work.
I hand Vahiva the coffee before he walks off.
He's not walking away. He's just staying in front of the control table, and you see that when you hand him the coffee, there's a mug in front of him, and he takes it and just like takes off the lid of the coffee,
I got
pours
two.
down the mug. Thank you. And you see that he looks toward Kay, nods, and begins walking away. like, giving a space.
Do you need anything done while you're here, Vivel?
Nope.
All right.
Nope. It begins walking away, and
Bye,
Kay, you see
I
that
guess.
they begin walking toward you. Kay.
I've got like a shopping bag.
Yeah, you have that. Yeah.
I have a shopping
I-
bag with like a t-shirt and pants in it.
It's like
It looks
those
like a
paper,
really
paper
sad
bag.
runaway.
Hey, Mac.
Okay.
I heard what happened with Krilltwin.
Uh-huh.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
You see there's like a head tilt from their side.
Bad memories and things that have already happened in the past.
Yes, but even if they passed, they can still do some things to us. Just, you can talk to us. Sorry, I know I've been... The moment I took the mantle of a captain, I knew I was going to be busy, but this is... just, again, if you need to talk or anything, let me know. I'll try to make a space for it. Or if not, I can tell one of the counselors to help out, but, memories can hurt. Especially now that we're discovering them.
I noticed. But really, it's fine. It wasn't anything I didn't know happened.
Well, the invitation is still open. I will not press you more on that. It is up to you if you want to talk, but just know that we are here.
Okay.
There is a smile from that part. As much as
As a bug can smile, yeah.
yeah. There's the transmission of through the telepathy of that attempt to be comforting. Like empathic toward you, and they do not, and turn around back to the table. You see that they like rub the temple, like, or in between the eyes, and they lean in the table.
Like I told Vivel, if you need anything, like you need anything done, I don't actually have a position here on the ship other than teaching and flying sometimes, and
Oh, I thought you were the pilot of the ship.
yeah, we're not.
Kay looks at you, and there's like that sort of like a smile sensation, and
Well, yeah, I'm the pilot of the ship, but as well, we ain't exactly going anywhere right now. Well, we're going, but we're not. You know what I mean.
Yes. You could get with I forgot his name. The chief engineer. The orc.
Yeah, I know who
Kumar.
you're talking about.
Sorry,
Yeah,
just
Kumar.
there's more names that I need to now remember. It's been a thing. Kumar, yes, you could talk with him about if he requires anything particular. But if there's anything that the breach needs, don't worry, you'll get it. Addy will do it. And just email here. Yes, I'm here. No, Addy.
Thanks, Eddie.
Addy. Thank you, Addy. Have you finished the scans that I sent you? Yes, I'll pass it to you. Thank you. I don't want to be rude, Mac, but I'll get back to work.
It's good. You're busy now. That's okay. Is the Bruneri here, Sekri?
Alduri, yeah.
Ah, awesome.
He's there.
I'm gonna say hi to him in Bernary, and then I'm gonna head out. Like, this is the most casual thing in the world, is Max speaking a language that's not common, and then just walk away.
Alduri responds back in its language like, "Good morning." What?
Yeah, Mac is no longer in the room. He has said hello in Bernary, and then walked out.
There's
Like,
a delay.
Mac hasn't even processed that he just did that.
There's answer, then just the realization of the what, and then
Yeah, Mac hasn't even
Still
fully
processed.
processed that he just spoke a different language. He'll realize that later.
you exit the bridge. You see the time, and you are about enough time to get there. But you assume also there's not like, if you're not in time, you're not allowed. Or at least you think you're not. The idea of this gathering, just doing all this stuff has helped you, but now that you're thinking, okay, I'm going there, the nervousness, the anxiety is building up. Every step you take toward the living area builds up more and more, and there's a bit of sensation of comfort being among people that are passing by. What else is Amos feeling as they're making their way there?
Well, he knows the meeting that he's going to is supposedly with the rest of what is left on this ship of the Verdant Sun. So he is nervous and full of anxiety and trying to keep that under control. Especially because I don't think he's actually told the party what's happening.
Nope.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think you guys know that he's going to this meeting or that this meeting exists.
All I got was CC'd in an email to Null.
Yeah, you got CC'd Noel's email about information, and like the day before, Mac asked you if you needed any information looked up or done with. And you said no.
Eventually, you get there, and with the indication of what locale is, you see that aptly, probably, ironically, looks like a bar, though not very well kept, probably abandoned by the original owner, either because they don't remember they own it or they are no longer alive.
Yeah. They're in the compost bin. They're part of the
But you
melon.
see some lights in there, like someone has to at least adjust so it's doesn't look like completely disheveled by whatever happened on the ship, and begin taking steps in there. And as you approach the door, which it is, there's no actual door. You imagine the door has been set up to just remain open instead of sliding up, left and right. And you see there's some people in there already. There's like talking. You hear like the sounds of chattering. And the people inside that you manage to see from outside, and as you're approaching, they seem, dressed like any other people of the ship, like, the casual spacefaring clothes. Some of them have what seem to be some engineering garb, not fully the uniform. Some of them have like jackets. Some of them just have plain shirts. And more or less you count that at least what you've seen as you're entering might be more like 20 people maybe ish. Probably a bit more than that. You enter and you see more of them, and yeah, there's more. And this is a nicely sized bar, and there's quite a few people here. And I mean, faces are like there, like not fully there until you see these. You see Sebosh. She has a engineering jacket open, leaving what seems to be like a tank top underneath, and she looks at you, and there's like a gleaming in her face of like, wow, like, oh, hey, and she begins making the way to you, and until she's face to face, Hey, Amos, you came. Good. Glad to have you here.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me. Well, hold on. Hey, guys. And she says that. Hey, and begin there's some whisper like, hey, what, like, paying attention. Um, here, I think you guys remember him, right? And there's like a moment of pause, like everyone paying attention, like looking at you, and then you hear like a voice. Is that Amos? Yeah.
Hate that.
Oh my gosh, that's Amos.
This
And
is making Sky cringe.
and there's that part of like people like when you look and look for that for where that voice came, you look at it and it seems like a half elf. Like you see the features, the ears not so elongated, the the features, probably this person has been a couple of fights. You can see in the bit of the skin scarring, and a bit of like the framing of the face, just a little bit off.
This is
And
the one that I beat up.
no, it doesn't seem that kind of person. As he's kind of smiles, and there's that flash of the lightning around him change. Not the one clean from the Dralark, but more of the one that seems to be more akin to the bird and sun. And they have a different attire in this brief flash of memory as you kind of place his voice and his face in a spot. There's another person that you look and they're like, oh yeah, that's a fucking pilot. Hell yeah, he's alive. And you see this person, it seemed to be just a normal human, and again flashes, and you see, like for instance, like probably in the bridge, someone that was moving around, and there's a part of people approaching me like, oh, like, thank goodness you're alive. Like, there's what seemed to be at the beginning like oh yeah, that's a fucking pilot, more like, hey, it's a pilot. There's a weird kinship that is forming, and whatever feelings is causing instantaneous, that mix of cringe, nervousness, anxiety, there's a welcoming sensation as people seem to recognize you. And so I'm like I more or less remember, like, and there's just comments of, hey, good that you survive, and panning like, hey, well, welcome to welcome to our little shithole kind of thing, and just comments about that. And as people are like receiving that, and also some of them like returning to their own conversation, things like that. Sebash says, yeah, so Mac, we're trying to like figure out here like what happened, what happened to us, and that thing. Some of them did ask for people from the bridge. It's just you're the second person we have found. So like, we just trying to figure out things out.
So, I'm the second person from the Verdant Sun that you found?
Yeah.
So who are all of these people? Are they also from the Verdant Sun?
Yeah. All of them are from the. Yeah, all of them are from the Better Sun. It's just, second from the bridge. Here, let me show you. The go ahead.
The first from the bridge? Who is the first one that you found from the bridge?
Oh well, it's not like I mean, you're technically the first person, but it's kind of weird what happened. Like, come, and she kind of guides you across the different tables and areas where people are sitting. There's some passing their drinks, like going to the bar and passing some drinks, and then like it's kind of like open bar. Anyone can go and maybe find whatever it is left here.
Oh, I go behind and grab a bottle and then put it in like the deep pocket of my jacket.
Yeah, and as you're following them, you see that kind of on a corner side. As people start like approaching and seeing, you see that there's like a table that you think it's empty, suddenly like moves, and from under it you see a creature that is way, way shorter. You see an Isoki, this kind of like rat humanoid creature. And you're striken aback by its presence for two reasons. The first one, the memory hums like a truck. This is the first officer of the Berlin Sun.
So this is an Aosuki. Ysoki?
What? Sorry.
How do you spell the race of this thing?
Y
S-O.
Ysoki.
Cool.
Yeah.
I want to tell you something really funny. I took this
Okay.
as a language, and I did not know that this would come up.
Okay. Well then. And that's the first thing that strikes you. Like you see in your mind the complete kind of his usual uniform of kind of militaristic elements to whatever he was wearing in those flashes of imagery that you saw in meetings on the bridge, being along the captain, kind of like a shadow to the captain. And the second thing that just strikes you is when it looks at you, the expressive part of his face, it's stern, though his eye kind of opens a bit wide when it sees you in recognition. The other half of the face, mostly like divided up to the kind of up to the lips and then to the right, it is not flesh. It is metal. And there's not a flesh eye, it's more like this red sensor on it that shows obviously no expression whatsoever. Just the red, glowy presence of sentience behind it. As it kind of takes a couple of steps toward you and crosses his arms as Sebosh gets. Hey, go ahead, this is Amos. Yeah, I remember him. The pilot. Yeah,
You say that like I was a shit pilot.
Yeah, you were the pilot of the Verdant Sun. I remember you. Yeah. Fucking good.
I am a good pilot.
You are. Shut up.
Thanks.
There's just a stare from his part. And Sebas just like looks for a moment like,
Oh yeah, Mac is staring this dude down. Looking down at this guy from his like over 6 foot ass, just staring.
yeah, he's just looking up at you. Like this is a small individual, small creature.
Like how big is Mac? Like 6'7" or something? Mac is ridiculously tall, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
Mac is
and
stupidly tall
Zokir-
for no good reason.
And Sokir, I mean, they're considered small. I'm not sure how tall they can be, but this one is, again, just an Isoki. That's already short enough. So, you survived.
Looks like you did.
I mean, I'm not gonna go down easily. Not by dead people. Not by whatever happened before. Though I don't remember you having that color. And from his stature, you see he basically turns his head right to your
To the arm. Yep.
arm. When that happened.
In Yosoki, Mac is gonna respond with when it got ripped off.
It chitters in Isoki back to you. The undead ones, or was that before?
Before.
Well. You see, he like straightens up, looks at Sebosh, then back at you, and speaks back in common. I heard that you are helping for the bridge and the ship, right?
How confused must she be right now that we've just been chittering back and forth?
I mean, Sebosh just looks like weirded out that you just spoke
Good.
in a language and he responded in that same language. But there's a
Good.
part of like, oh, like they spoke in the same language, okay? Um, yeah, he's Amos has been helping. We, like everyone here has been helping on the ship. Again, go ahead. You could help a lot, especially with. Shh. It's okay. I prefer to be just around, keeping an eye. I know.
Who are you talking to?
Mind
keep
your
saying
business.
I don't think I will. I think I'm gonna mind yours a little bit here. Who are you talking to? Because I don't know if you've noticed this. We aren't on the Burnt Sun anymore, and you ain't my boss. That kind of started when my
Oh.
arm got ripped off and I was arrested.
Oh, and you think we are not arrested?
I think it's I stopped caring about your position of power over me.
How much you know about what happened? How was your situation on that burdened sun, huh?
That I was treated like shit. The captain beat the crap out of me more than once. Had me beat up other crew members, because if I didn't, he'd beat the shit out of me. And I'm assuming it's just as bad for everybody else.
The ones that were not following orders. The ones that needed just a bit of tempering. But you were his boy. You were his little, shiny, good old fucking pet.
I
You were doing
noticed.
everything he would tell you.
If I
And
didn't,
you were so... Oh, come on, you did not. You say that you didn't enjoy it.
no,
And
I
just
didn't.
see how Sebosh moves like email. Okay, it's just...
You think I enjoyed the captain's daily beatings on me? No. I was his favorite little whipping boy. That's what he liked me for.
Oh, if only he was here to confirm that. You see, he says that, and there's like a expression of...
Ooh, what's that gonna be? It's perception or sense motive to figure out what the fuck that was.
Like that
That
expression
face?
from his...
Yeah. Cause that
Um,
it seemed like a tell that something else is happening.
Go ahead, do a sense motive, and I will roll for him. Thank goodness I had made the stat sheet. Which is
30.
great. 30, okay. Let me see.
Cool.
There you go.
Yes! Love that!
Yeah, this individual, as scary might give itself, you get that was definitely... there's a frustration in that. There's a frustration. Not sure what might be the source of that, but there's that situation of like the way you're speaking, the way you're acting, and he doesn't have enough to just put you down, and there's just like
Yeah,
that situation of
he's mad that I don't care anymore.
yeah, there's that part of like, and there's definitely also, you get like, you see the rest of the people here are either talking with one-on-one or between groups. Godhead was by themselves, and you get that idea with that read that probably this person is just not happy with the whole overall situation and was just like sulking on its corner.
So out of like the 20 plus people that are here, other than this Isoki who's been under this table, being a jerk, there is one other person who is sitting alone at a table.
No, it's just him.
It's just him, and he's the only one upset by all of us. Okay, good.
Kind of, yeah. You get that feel. With that 30 on sense motive and it's fucking 2 on charisma, you see that the mechanical eye at times does movement that does not correlate with its biological eye. And there's just every now and then twitches that from what you think might be like Isoki related, but they're twitches like its head just like,
Yeah, it's weird.
yeah, there's something off about that part.
Do I have the ability to, as an android, record what I'm seeing?
I'm not sure, but also with that 30, I'm gonna say you have, like, that is a high roll. You have that information in your head, and
Yeah.
you can recall it with a good exactitude.
Because I want to bring that up, like how his eye is moving later to like S, because that seems weird enough that I'm in the back of Max's head is like, I think his eye might be hacked and that something is watching.
Maybe, perhaps. Again,
And
it is the mechanical part is not only the eye; it's like this whole
and
section of the head.
that's what he's talking to and saying shut up to. It's like there's
Kind of.
something there.
Yeah, there's like something there, perhaps. You don't see if there's like like communicate or anything, but also it's missing that ear. It's like the
Mhm.
whole mechanical section.
Yeah, that's why I was like, yeah. So I'll bring that up to S later.
Well,
So
enjoy, I suppose. We'll be chatting, perhaps, or not.
probably not.
But turns and walks away. Kind of also into like a back room of this bar, and Sebash looks a mix of terrified and uncomfortable, and he's like,
If I could throw
What?
him out of an airlock, I would be so happy to right now.
I just try not to make enemies with him. Like, it's just, look, we're trying, I guess, to make ourselves back in here, but we don't want enemies. At least I don't want to. I don't think you want an enemy.
Trying to make ourselves back? What are you talking about?
Like, back into the ship, into this place. Like,
Yeah,
don't try to hide ourselves, but just
you
be
shouldn't try
walking around.
to hide yourself in your past and who you were. But if he doesn't want that, then he doesn't want that, and you shouldn't let him drag you down. Don't try to let him be an anchor that drags you to your past and whatever he was. If he wants to sulk and do that, cut that anchor. You don't need it. It's dead weight.
It's just, I was hoping that he would open and get some answers about things.
Maybe.
But
Some people just need to realize they're at the bottom before they start crawling back up. And I don't think he's realized he's hit the bottom yet. He still thinks he's in charge.
I just want to know what happened to my brother, and I thought maybe he would know anything about.
I know.
It's I guess we'll eventually find out. If not,
What's your brother's name, anyway?
I don't remember.
Your brother is, you're Lashinta?
Yeah,
Like you, captured in the Verdant Sun raid.
no, we were not captured. We joined.
You joined this crew.
No, the Verdant Sun.
Yeah.
Not
How did
not
you-
the Durlar.
Do you know how you came to join the Drellark?
More or less, I have pieces of memory.
Mhm.
I think we tried to attack the ship, and then we got captured. Some of us, I think, some died, and some of us are just hiding.
You remember
I'm still
what your
trying
brother
to
looked
find.
like?
Like me, and she begins describing this Lashunta.
Hey, Addie. Can I get Addie to make a recreation of her brother and search the database for it?
When you say "Hey, Addie,"
Get you
the
with
Savage
my
stops,
database.
and it's like, "Oh, no, Addie's not functioning in this, in the bar.
Interesting.
The systems are fried. I was
Ah.
trying to get it working, but it's not
Yeah.
there. So,
So yeah, Athens. That's the wrong
actually,
word.
actually,
Amos.
actually, you see, she puts like her own digital device.
Yeah. Send me.
She sends you an image. Like, this is a file of us, and when you see the file, you recognize that face from a memory you had not long ago. And there's a coldness in your body just going through. I'm trying to find him. Like, this is a file found on me, but it's just, I don't know. Either way, I did not saw his photo on the people that passed away. You know, the one that they put from the dead body. So I assume he might be around. Just
he
lost.
might. I don't. I'll look. I'll look through the system and everything to see if I can find anything.
Yeah. But well, in the meantime, I know he was capable of taking care of himself. So, in the meantime, just sit around, take a drink, and just talk with people, see if that sparks any other not so shitty memories. Honestly, it's weird, the whole part.
Yeah.
It wasn't good, but
I've still got my stuff. I should actually probably head back to. I got groceries I gotta put away.
She looks at the bag. Are you sure about that? We could just sit around. What you gonna be doing about the groceries? Just
Well, you got frozens.
Yes, my plan was. That was my plan. It was meant to be like, look, there's frozens, and they gotta get put away.
Well, we're gonna stay a bit longer today here. So if you want, I'm gonna be doing this a bit more often.
Yeah,
I'll
come back. It's just, yeah.
Roll me a deception check.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna have to roll something here because Mac knows what this photo is and what it means, and it's just not good. I'm gonna assume that's a bluff check because there's a deception.
Bluff, yeah.
I'm not good at this skill. I'm not good at lying.
Well, let's see.
Is it contested?
It will get contested.
It's
Sense motive is
lying.
wisdom, right?
Sense motive, I believe, is wisdom.
Wisdom.
But you have a modifier. Typically, that's what breaks it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, again, you're in a way you're the defender, right? In terms of the roles. So yeah, you pass it. Sebash looks at you, and there's a sort of a concern, but also says, "Okay, yeah, send me a message. We'll be around.
Yeah.
And
Sure. I leave.
oh, okay.
Bye. Just
As you pass, you hear like, "Bye, Amos."
bye. You made
Just
it.
from
He's
someone.
panicking. He's gone.
You exit out the bar, and as you take every step you're taking away, like almost first at a fast pace, then starting to catch up to like a quick jog, and almost wanting to sprint as kind of that memory is going through,
Mm-hmm.
and a sensation of worry creeping up, a sensation of choking, and that coldness going through your spine. You stop for a moment, take a deep breath, attempting to. I need you to roll a perception check.
I really hate that. Amos is in the middle of a panic attack. Can we pull up perception
Yeah,
check?
I'm gonna say we'll do a yeah. Let me see. Um. Yeah, you're like taking deep breaths and just look up, and at the corner of your eye you see like some odd movement flickering, but when you turn around to see from where that came from, nothing. But you do notice that your vision, there's like every now and then just like small blinking dots. As I begin to think, I need to breathe. I need to
Mhm.
breathe, and with that you calm down, and those like blinking dots kind of begin to vanish, but you still feel dizzy, dazed, nauseated.
I'm gonna roll a dice IRL to determine what Amos is gonna do. We're gonna roll our what would Amos do dice. Wait, I have a. This is gonna be interesting. Amos is gonna send Null a message.
Oh,
Look, I roll a d4.
okay.
And it landed on Null.
This is gonna be interesting.
And it just says, "Where are you right now?"
Oh boy.
This would be like
It's
noon ship time, so
It is grammatically incorrect. There's no punctuation. There's weird spacing. And it is all in lowercase. As if somebody typed this very fast. So it is everything that you hate, basically.
On the one hand, Null is like, well, I never reply to Amos. I can't set a precedent now. But then also, he wouldn't send this to me like this unless it was important.
I never respond to Amos.
I never respond to Amos.
do you give your location?
Yeah, but he's just gonna share his location with Amos. He's not gonna respond.
It's the
He's not gonna-
GPS ping.
Yeah,
he's
he
not
just
gonna.
drops the pin.
He's not gonna message back, oh, I'm down in the lab. He's just gonna share his location.
Yeah, and you receive the location of the science and arcane
Science and
division.
Arcane Division.
Yep.
That was where Matt goes.
Yeah, you begin making your way, and as you just walk out and leave the area, still reeling from that, what Amos does not notice with every step, every now and then screens near where he goes for brief moments. Flicker.
So I'm
And-
right, and I hate it.
And that's where we're gonna leave tonight's episode.
Oh,
Oh.
you son of a bitch. Alright. Sorry, that's Faye
You
coming out.
devious son of a gun!
That's Faye coming out there, because now I've got theories and ideas. But, yes, that is the end of our session. So, thank you to our viewers for viewing. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you want more, follow us here on Twitch. We do a lot of D&D, but every other Thursday you can catch Homeward, our Starfinder game. VODs go up on our YouTube. So you can check us out there, and if you want to jump into a game yourself or just catch up on all of our announcements, you can do so at our Discord. So, thank you all. I'll see you on our next stream. Laters.